Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this distinguished gathering where innovation meets impact and the future of artificial intelligence unfolds before us. Today, we are truly honored to have with us a visionary leader, a trailblazer in the realm of artificial intelligence and cognitive analytics, Mr. Arogya Liborius, Vice President, International Society of Data Scientists. With over 15 years of groundbreaking contributions across banking, chemicals, and industrial sectors, Mr. Arogya had redefined how enterprises harness the power of data and intelligence. His pioneering integration of large language models, computer visions, and NLP has not only enhanced operational efficiency but delivered over millions in annual productivity gains, a testament to AI driven transformation at scale. Before his impactful journey at the bank, Mr. Arogya held senior leadership roles at Clarion and Ecolab, leading multi-country initiatives in predictive analysis, enterprises, cloud transformations, and business intelligence. He is also a holder of two patents in the industrial IoT, a published thought leader, and a top 100 global AI voice, collaborating with the tech giants like Microsoft, Google, and AWS. Whether it's building performing teams, future proofing data ecosystems, or aligning deep technologies with the business strategies, Mr. Arogya Liborius exemplifies what it means to lead with vision, insight, and purpose. Please join me in extending a warm, enthusiastic welcome to Mr. Arogya Liborius. We look forward to gaining from your experience and being inspiring by your journey. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Let's start this session.
Yeah. Good morning, Tracy. And good morning, everyone. Just let me quickly share my screen. Maybe just before we get started, Tracy, I just wanted to understand just quickly on the background or the profile of people who have joined the call for today, so that it will help me modulate the session as well. Means the people who have joined the call, what is their background profile? Are they from first year, second year, third year, or it is school students? Or so I just have a doubt over there. Can you hear me? Hello, can anyone confirm that you can hear me?
Sir, we are hearing.
Oh. Fine, perfect. I'll just quickly maybe go with this session and the flow itself. So I think Tracy introduced me, but just I'm giving a quick overview of, or maybe I'll say something which was not there in the intro profile maybe. So apart from what Tracy mentioned, I like to mentor, I like to talk to students, especially from engineering and B-school profiles. And apart from that, I'm part of few NGO as well. So the International Society of Data Scientists, it's an NGO based out of US, and I'm part of the society and representing India chapter. So it's mainly about standardizing the data science as an academic. Let's say from an academic standpoint, we are trying to standardize the let's say the content and what let's say this. When I say contents, it's about what they teach. And because nowadays, if you Google data science, you get a lot of courses, maybe from different institutes available, and it is not standardized in a sense. So when you say chartered accountant in India, you know what CA means. It's standard throughout India. So that is something we are trying to create for a data science or ML profile as well. So that's what the International Society of Data Science scientists, let's say, goal or vision as well. So let's quickly go into today's session. So today we'll see. Uh, Before even we get into this session, I just wanted to know what you think AI is, or how many of you here have used AI. You can unmute and you can let me know, or you can put up in the chat as well, so that at least I know what is your understanding of AI, and if anyone has used any AI tool in your, let's say, professional or personal life. How to you guys? So maybe I'll try to simplify. How many of you have used Google search? Crazy. You will the participants be able to unmute and speak, or it is uh, not allowed in this particular meeting bridge? Hmm. I'm assuming no one has ever used Google search in your personal or professional life. That's what I'll take it. The silence is. So let's see what is AI is. I'll start from very basics, not using any technical or hi-fi jargons here. So AI in simple terms is like a baby. So how a human learns by taking one step at a time. Similarly, the machines do also learn, and especially this happens through the data which is being provided to the machines. So AI, in simple terms, is machines that can learn from patterns. That is a much larger, I would say, portfolio of things which happens. Under AI, you have a small, let's say, topic or a subset called machine learning, where you teach a machine through examples or sample data. And currently, you might have heard about a lot of buzzwords or the industry buzzing around generative AI or Gen AI. So these are machines which specifically can generate or create stuff. So when you say stuff, it can be a text, it can be an image, it can be a video. So it can create apart from predicting what can happen. So that is something which is, I would say, an evolution of the different forms or subsets of AI, and this is also helping us transform the industry and day-to-day work in corporate life in a whole different way, especially in the content creation and management area. Okay. Then we'll just see some of the industry segments where AI is used, basically a real world application perspective. I'll just take four of such industry segments. We'll start with healthcare. In healthcare, couple of examples I'll maybe walk you through. So one of the initial, let's say, experiments or projects which was done in healthcare was by Google. The project is called Lina. So it was mainly done for cancer detection, especially using images or spots or images taken from, let's say, pathology laboratories. So these images are used and to detect cancer in the early stages. So this was a project by Google. And one another I'll talk about, which is of especially which happened in India for by Apollo hospitals. So they used the retinal scans for detecting diabetic retinopathy. So this is something which they tried as an, let's say, proof of a concept, and then later it was incorporated into their official working model as well. So Apollo Hospitals even today uses multiple AI models to detect early stage diseases of various forms. Okay. I'll touch base a little bit around the education sector as well. So in especially companies or institutes like Unacademy, so they use AI especially for creating mock-up tests for students so that it helps them prepare for the various, let's say, competitive exams they appear for. And it is very customized and personalized as well. for the user who are going to use it too. Okay? And I'll take another example of from an inclusivity standpoint. So there are tools which was developed especially for let's say people suffering from dyslexia. So dyslexia in the sense people who have, in simple terms, people who have trouble reading. Or I think I'm not sure how many of you would have watched this movie called Tare Zameen Par. It's quite old movie. So where you can see Ishan, a kid who suffers from dyslexia and how it impacts his life. So that's what is all about dyslexia. And there are now AI tools available today, which makes life easy for these kind of let's say physically challenged individuals as well. So that is how AI is helping us in education sector too. Okay, so we'll see couple more, one in finance and one in also entertainment industry too. So in a finance, typically fraud detection or fraud prevention is one of the primary battle which the financial institutes battle quite for long. And NPCI, which is nothing but I think everyone might be using UPI payments day in and day out every day. So NPCI is the one who introduced this UPI payment mode in India and for India. Especially they have multiple fraud detection models which works or which reduces the scams almost by close to 50% every single day. Okay, so they scan through petabytes of data every single day, which is nothing but the UPI transactions which happens every day, which will be in crores, and every transaction is monitored and checked for any anomaly within the transactions too. So this is from a finance perspective. I'll go with an in entertainment industry. Couple of examples. I think most of you might be using let's say Prime, Netflix, or Geo Hotstar, or multiple entertainment platforms. I think most of you would have noticed as you start using the platform, you might get recommendations as people watched or people like you or similar to you watched certain contents, and it will be recommended as an option for you to view. Or as you start using the platform, you will also start getting similar kind of let's say movies or series which will be upcoming for you, or which will be listed up in your let's say profile. So these are nothing but simple machine learning algorithms which takes into account each and every user's preferences, behavior, and then accordingly these models suggest a personalized set of, let's say, uh, series or movies which will be something which might interest you. So this is something which is going on in the entertainment or media industry for quite long, and this is also being used in the retail or FMCG business as well, where especially if you see shop in Flipkart or Amazon, the similar kind of algorithms or models work, which help you or which suggest certain products based on your past history or interests which you have expressed. Okay, so let's quickly see the different terminologies within AI. Okay, so here to be in a to let's say to put it in a nutshell, uh, AI or ML or data science, everything is about data. It starts with data, and from data, it tries to learn patterns, and from the patterns, it tries to predict what could be the next potential point. So that is what happens in typically in most of the AI or ML models. And one thing is very clear: it's garbage in, garbage out. So if the input or the data which you are feeding the machine is corrupted, or it is some kind of an garbage, of course the output will not be also reliable. So that's why data preparation or data cleaning is of paramount importance, especially in this particular field. Okay, and again, since it's garbage in, garbage out, you decide, basically you as an let's say from a developer standpoint, you decide how the AI learns, and you actually also construct how the AI brain works as well. So all this happens through programming and right set of data, or curating the right set of data. Okay, so I'll just touch base few of the let's say terminology is used as well. Of course, I'll start with data. So data here is the fuel. So without data, nothing happens in this particular field. And the next word or the buzzword is around machine learning. Machine learning is nothing but teaching a machine how to learn basically from data. And within machine learning, there are one types of methodology or framework which helps, let's say, students, or maybe which helps people, or which helps the machine learn faster. Something similar to, or which mimics the human brain. So that's called neural networks. So these are famous. I think everyone might or at least heard about ChatGPT. If not used, I'm assuming I'm not sure how much of you have used. But neural networks are the brain behind all of these sophisticated AI models which are currently in use. Okay. So I'll just quickly touch base upon the various career opportunities which are available within this field. Okay, so there are some, let's say, careers which are getting phased out, and some new roles are getting created as this field is evolving. Some of the key roles as of today, it's quite, let's say, heavily hired by different industries. I've just listed down a few of them. So AI research is of primary importance for most tech or IT services firms, where they try to get engineers who can actually do let's say an end-to-end research on how different models work and how this can be commercialized as well. And as AI grows, or as this field is also evolving, there is this topic which comes into play, which is ethical usage of AI, or how you use but not abuse AI. So that's where every company or the market actually focuses mainly on the ethics part of using AI as well. So this is a separate domain which is evolving in the recent days, where you have ethicists who specifically monitor how the data is fed and how the data is used, and how these AI models are not biased towards any specific segment. Okay. And data scientists, of course, this is a hot topic for quite more than a decade right now in the market, where I would call them as technical developers who actually work on developing these kind of machine learning models. Okay. And there is another set of, let's say, a profile which is emerging recently, which is a little adopted, or let's say little advanced version, or I would say the next phase for data scientists, which is machine learning engineers. So primarily, the skill sets will overlap between data scientists and machine learning engineers, but the primary differences will be machine learning engineers focus mainly on commercializing or productionizing a particular machine learning model. So their, let's say, the entire or their focus area will not be on developing or building a base machine learning model, but rather focus on deploying it in an environment where users can use. Okay. So then robotics is something which is evolving as well. So this involves both hardware as well as software. Software part, of course, it is the machine learning models which are fed or used to train these kind of hardware, which is the machines. Okay. So this involves, here there are specific set of skill sets which are required both on the hardware as well as on the software level, both. Okay. And from a management standpoint, you have some a role called product manager. So earlier it was simple product managers, and products can be software based or hardware based. And now with AI being integrated into almost every product which is, or services which are getting released into the market, there is this specific role which is evolving and emerging in the field, in the market, which is AI product managers. And last, something around computer vision. So now models are able to learn and also, see and also learn from what it is seeing from its surrounding environment. So here, computer vision engineers mainly focus on unstructured data. So their focus area is, or specialization is more on using unstructured data and training machine learning models. So here the unstructured data can be images, or it can be videos. Okay. And from a broad level, skill sets required for these kind of roles, or which will be overlapping for most of these roles, is programming, of course, Python. R, I would say now it's getting phased out, but R is a very strong statistical model. statistical programming language, which makes analysis quite easy. But from a scalability and deployment perspective, from an engineering standpoint, Python is a more flexible programming language. Of course, computer science fundamentals on database, integrated system, or embedded systems, these becomes crucial as well, at least an understanding to see how these different kind of let's say AI, ML, let's say tools or technologies can be integrated into your actual software product. So that's where general knowledge around computer science and its let's say the relevant areas is quite critical for these roles too. Apart from this, of course, math is the foundation for all of these machine learning models. So underlying principles will be some of the other math concepts, especially statistics and linear algebra. So these are primary areas where these models work upon. And from a soft skill perspective too, you have problem solving and creativity skills are essential for all of these roles. The more you think out of the box, the better the model or the final products will be. And of course, all these models are built on cloud, and since the on-prem facilities will not have enough computational power to run these kind of models, of course, everything runs on cloud these days. So knowledge of any of the top clouds, it can be Amazon Web Services, it can be Google Cloud Platform, or it can be Microsoft Azure, or it can be Oracle Cloud Platform too. So having a knowledge of one or more of these cloud platforms and how to use will be also critical for these roles, because once you are aware of the platform on which you will be building these kind of tools, it will be easy for you to. Okay, and I'll just touch base on few ethical concerns on and challenges about AI, because it's not about only the fancy thing which happens around AI, but also there are ethical concerns around using, because this has to be also incorporated in while you start learning or while you start building these kind of tools. Okay, so when there is a bias which is introduced through the data, what happens is that bias gets amplified once these kind of models go like our mainstream. Especially there are certain in past there had been certain instances where AI loan applications of certain fintechs were rejecting applications from a low income postal codes. Okay, so what happens is these models were fed data where certain postal codes in India was tagged as a low income area, and because of which, whenever these applicants come for a loan, these were getting rejected continuously. So, inherently, the bias which was introduced by a human, of course, got amplified into these models, and then people were not able to avail certain financial benefits from banking institutes or financial institutes. Okay, and another one classic example is when facial recognition was initially introduced in airports in the West. Most of the images which were used to train the models were from, let's say, the Western background, and not necessarily people from Asian or Southeast Asian, let's say, ethnicity was used in training these models. As a result, what happened in the initial days was these systems or scanners were continuously rejecting people or faces from especially Asian ethnicity. So eventually, which was fixed by expanding and distributing the data. But of course, these are some biases. I just want to pinpoint the ethical or ethics behind building these models as well, and you will have to be also mindful about these concepts too while you build or work on this kind of tech. Okay, and I think everyone talks about job displacement. Will AI take job? Of course, I would say yes, but not necessarily in a negative sense. If you see when telegraph and telephone, so when telephone was invented, the telegraph industry saw it down, and then it transitioned into telephone. And when smartphones were introduced, the telephone industry also started declining, and then the smartphone industry started picking up. So this is how the transition and evolution is going to be. So people who are able to upgrade themselves and evolve as the environment around them evolves, were able to survive, and those who could not were left behind. So those are the jobs, or those are those people whose jobs are at risk. Basically means if you can't learn, unlearn, or relearn, then of course you are left behind. But if you can do, of course you will be progressing. So that is in a nutshell, I would say, about job displacement or AI taking away jobs. Of course, it won't take away jobs, but it will enhance your life and the job you are currently doing, provided you are open to learn, relearn, and unlearn too at every single, let's say, stage in your life. Okay. So last, I'll end the session with some AI for good, which is happening around in India, or I would say some of the areas where AI was especially used. Okay, so AI was used to detect crop diseases. So this was an experiment which was done by Andhra Pradesh government in the past, along with a joint, let's say, project with Microsoft India team. So they were able to use images as well as drone images and satellite images to build certain AI models which help them increase the crop yields by 30%. So this was done as an experiment along by Andhra Pradesh government along with Microsoft India team. Okay, and then there was some experiments done by IIT Madras and AI, and basically they built an app called AI Bhashini, which supports multilingual languages, which is multiple Indian vernacular languages were used to train this model, where especially they introduced this for children who have certain speech impairments. Okay, so they introduced this especially for in the education field to make sure people who face or students who have some speech impairments also can learn, and that too in their own mother tongue. So that's what IIT Madras was focusing. This model Bhashini is now also available commercially too. It was initially developed for a purpose to include multiple or people with certain challenges can also learn as a normal one would do. Okay. And then, from a safety perspective, Delhi police especially used facial recognition. Even now, they do to track and different, let's say, around close to 3,000 plus children who went missing in just a few days. So they used facial recognition tech basically to search these children through multiple ways, where the images or videos of these people can be viewed, especially through surveillance cameras as well as CCTVs available in the public places. Okay, and again around healthcare, so there is this company called Cure AI, which developed a model especially for in rural area where tuberculosis or TB screening was very tricky and very costly as well. So this company introduced an AI model which can use the X-ray or pathological slides or images to detect TB or tuberculosis, and this becomes very cheap, especially in remote part of India. Okay, where people cannot also afford a high level treatment as well as even for diagnosis too. Okay, and nowadays in most smart cities and even as a part of smart city program, most of the cities use CCTV in real time to detect any road safety incidences and traffic as well. So in cities like Hyderabad, Mumbai, and even in Chennai, so you have lots of let's say startups which are capturing this or processing these images which are in the public areas, which is through the CCTV which is available on the roads to detect any safety incidences as well as traffic management too. So this heavily happens especially in the urban and the metro cities for quite some time. So these are some examples around AI which is happening, let's say, in India. And with this, I'll just close this session and maybe thank you everyone for having me today. Over to you, Krizi.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. It is my great honor to deliver the vote of thanks for what has been an incredibly insightful and thought-provoking session. On behalf of the organizers, participants, and all of us here, I extend our deepest gratitude to Mr. Arokya Liborius, a true visionary in the world of artificial intelligence, for sharing his wisdom with us on the powerful theme, Be the Brain Behind the AI. Sir, your journey as a globally recognized AI leader and your experience in transforming industries through generative AI, predictive analytics, and cognitive solutions have left us both informed and inspired. Your words have not only highlighted the power of AI, but also reminded us of the human intelligence, creativity, and strategic thinking that must drive it. Thank you, Mr. Liborius, for empowering us to think beyond tools and technologies and for encouraging us to become leaders, innovators, and ethical thinkers in the fast evolving AI landscape. We are truly grateful for your time, your insight, and your inspiring presence with us today. Thank you once again, and let us all continue striving to be the brain behind the AI. Thank you.
Thank you.